If you've ever felt like you're doing all the right things but nothing is changing, this video explains why, and more importantly, how to work with your mind instead of against it. Welcome back to The Conscious Creator, where we explore the unseen forces shaping our lives and uncover the tools to consciously design our reality. Today we're diving into The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, a book that has quietly changed millions of lives. This isn't a summary, it's an exploration. A reflection on what Murphy truly meant when he said that within you lies a sleeping giant, a creative force that responds faithfully to the thoughts you impress upon it. The beauty of his message is that it's both mystical and practical. He didn't just ask you to believe. He showed you how belief becomes form, how every mental picture you hold, charged with emotion, begins to move into reality through the law of the subconscious. So in this video, let's walk through the ideas that made this book timeless. Because once you truly understand how your subconscious works, you realize you've been shaping your world all along. Murphy often said the subconscious mind is like a fertile soil. Whatever seed you plant in it, good or bad, will grow. He called it the builder of your body and the keeper of your destiny. Every heartbeat, every healing process, every intuitive flash is guided by this unseen intelligence within you. Most people think of the mind as one thing, but Murphy taught that we live with two aspects, the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious mind chooses, reasons, and decides. The subconscious accepts and acts. It doesn't judge, it doesn't argue. It takes what you repeatedly think and feel as commands and turns them into physical conditions and experiences. This means that every day, whether you realize it or not, you are giving orders to the most powerful creative mechanism in the universe, your own mind. When you say, "I can't do this," your subconscious says, "Very well." When you say, "I can," it says the same. It brings you evidence of whichever belief you choose to nurture. Murphy's message was clear. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're the author of it. The subconscious doesn't create against you, it creates through you. One of Murphy's most revolutionary ideas was that prayer is scientific, not in the sense of lab experiments, but in its predictable results when practiced correctly. To him, prayer wasn't begging a distant power. It was aligning yourself with the creative flow of the infinite. He described it as thinking in the presence of God. When you pray for something, the goal isn't to convince a higher power. The goal is to convince your own subconscious that it is already so. He said, prayer is the soul's silent inner knowing of the presence of the infinite. When you feel the reality of your desire as already achieved, you've impressed that feeling into the subconscious, and it must express it. This is why visualization works. It's not fantasy, it's focused creation. Murphy often gave examples of people who visualized their ideal home, job, or relationship, then watched it unfold in uncanny ways. He explained it as the natural response of the subconscious mind to the image held with conviction. And he taught a technique called affirmative prayer, where instead of saying, "Please help me find peace," you say, "Peace fills my mind now." You state your desire as present fact, because the subconscious works only with the now. To pray scientifically, you imagine the outcome is already real, feel gratitude for it, and then let go, trusting that the creative power within will do the rest. Murphy said something profoundly simple. You do not get what you pray for, you get what you believe. That sentence alone is worth meditating on. Belief, he taught, is the master key of the subconscious. It determines which ideas take root and which fade away. But he also warned that fear is just belief in disguise, belief in the opposite direction. When you worry, you're using the same creative power that makes faith work. You're visualizing the unwanted and energizing it with emotion. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between faith and fear, it simply accepts your emotionalized thought as truth. That's why Murphy urged readers to watch their words and inner dialogue. Every "I'm so unlucky," "everything's never work out," becomes a prayer of its own. He wrote, "Change your belief and you change your destiny." Faith, to him, wasn't blind optimism. It was mental conviction. The knowing that what you desire already exists in the invisible and will appear in due time. When faith and imagination unite, the subconscious moves mountains. Murphy's work is filled with stories of physical healing. people who recovered from illness after changing their mental patterns. He explained that the subconscious governs all functions of the body, from cell renewal to immune response. When you feed it harmonious thoughts, it restores harmony in the body. He once wrote about a woman who suffered chronic skin problems for years. Nothing worked until she began repeating nightly, "My skin is clear, smooth, and radiant. Divine perfection expresses through me." Within weeks, her condition disappeared. To Murphy, this wasn't a miracle, it was law. The subconscious will always express the image held within it. He taught that illness often begins as emotional discord. Resentment, guilt, or fear create tension in the subconscious, which manifests physically. Healing, then, is about restoring peace. He said, "You must mentally accept the idea of perfect health. The subconscious will build it according to your belief. And this principle applies to every area of life, not just the body. When you change your inner picture of any condition, that condition must change to match." Your subconscious doesn't know time or limitation. It only knows the pattern you impress upon it. Murphy placed special importance on the state between wakefulness and sleep. He called it the borderland of consciousness, the doorway through which ideas pass most easily into the subconscious. Whatever you dwell on before sleep, he said, will be multiplied while you rest. That's why he urged people never to fall asleep worrying, replaying conflicts, or focusing on what's missing. In that relaxed, suggestible state, the mind accepts everything you give it as truth. Instead, he suggested using bedtime to plant seeds of harmony and success. As you drift off, imagine yourself already living the life you desire. Feel the emotions of fulfillment as if it were now. Murphy said, "Your subconscious mind works continuously while you sleep. The seeds of your thought grow and bear fruit. Modern psychology confirms this. The theta brainwave state before sleep is the most powerful for reprogramming. So tonight, before you close your eyes, speak kindly to your subconscious. Whisper what you want it to know. Tell it, 'Tomorrow I awaken inspired, confident, and guided.' Then release it. Let your inner self carry the message into creation." Murphy often wrote about a simple law that's easily overlooked. What you resist persists. Resistance is energy, and whatever you give energy to, you feed. He taught that harmony is the secret password of the subconscious. When your thoughts and emotions are in conflict, the subconscious can't bring your desires to life. But when you align with peace and forgiveness, it opens the way. He once said, "To forgive is to set yourself free." Holding grudges binds the mind to the past. The subconscious takes your emotional state as instruction, so when you replay hurt, it assumes you want more of it. Forgiveness isn't about excusing others. It's about declaring your freedom from the energy of resentment. Murphy often advised readers to repeat, "I release and forgive everyone and everything. I am at peace. Divine love fills my heart. Harmony creates receptivity. It dissolves the inner resistance that blocks manifestation." He explained that love, gratitude, and joy are not just emotions. They're frequencies that tune your subconscious to the flow of abundance. To live without resistance is to live as a conscious creator, allowing the current of life to move through you effortlessly. Murphy didn't separate spirituality and success. He believed abundance was a divine law. He taught that the universe is lavish, and that limitation exists only in the mind that believes in it. He said, "The key to wealth is to think wealth." Prosperity to him was a state of consciousness. When you see yourself as already supported by infinite supply, you magnetize opportunities and ideas that reflect that belief. He warned that focusing on lack creates more lack, not as punishment, but as reflection. The subconscious must always mirror the picture you hold. He recommended daily affirmations like, "Success and abundance flow to me freely. I am one with the riches of the universe." When spoken with feeling, these words recondition the inner blueprint, and the outer world reorganizes to match. Murphy's students often found that once they stopped worrying about how something would happen and focused on knowing that it would, the results came quickly and often in surprising ways. To think of wealth, love, or health as already yours is to align with the creative mind that made them possible. There is a moment in every creator's journey where pushing stops working. You speak the affirmations, You repeat the prayer. You try very hard to believe. The harder you try, the tighter everything feels. The mind is busy, the body is tense, and your desire seems to step one pace backward for every pace you force forward. Joseph Murphy explained this paradox beautifully. The subconscious does not respond to strain. It responds to conviction, ease, and acceptance. The conscious mind chooses what is wanted. The subconscious executes it in its own perfect way. When the conscious mind interferes with anxiety, the deeper self cannot act freely. Murphy called this the law of reversed effort. The more you try to force an outcome through tension, the more you affirm that the outcome is not here. Struggle is a signal to the subconscious that separation still exists. When you release effort, you declare unity, the state of already having. Letting go is not apathy, it is trust. It is the still confidence that says, it is handled. When the mind rests, the subconscious begins its work. This is why Murphy taught that relaxed imagination carries power. When you picture your desire with gentle assurance, the deeper mind accepts it as fact. The body relaxes, the breath deepens, creation begins. He encouraged the use of mental movies, short, vivid inner scenes that prove your wish fulfilled. Not long fantasies, but brief, believable experiences soaked in feeling. For example, if you desire success, see yourself closing a laptop at the end of a fulfilling day and smiling. If you desire healing, see yourself walking outdoors with renewed strength. Keep it simple. Keep it natural. When the picture feels complete, stop. Do not add commentary or analyze timing. Gratitude closes the process. The work of the conscious mind is done. The subconscious will now handle the details. Murphy wrote, "You relax, let go, and let the deeper mind work on the problem." This is the spiritual art of allowing. You trust the unseen forces to weave their way into your visible life. You remain open, light, and responsive. Paradoxically, the less you try to control, the faster life arranges itself around your assumption of completion. That is the law of reversed effort, the truth that letting go is the final act of creation. Once you've learned how to correct resistance and steady your faith, something even more profound begins to happen. The subconscious starts to speak back, not in words, but in gentle nudges and quiet knowing. Joseph Murphy called this the wisdom of the subconscious, what most of us would simply call intuition. Joseph Murphy taught that once we impress an idea on the subconscious mind, our job is not to push for results, but to listen. He called this the wisdom of the subconscious, that quiet knowing that moves us toward right action and right timing. It's not loud, it doesn't shout over fear, and it never argues. It just keeps nudging. You might call it intuition. Murphy would agree. Intuition is the language your subconscious uses to guide you. It speaks in calm hunches, sudden insights, and ideas that arrive when your conscious mind is busy elsewhere. It's that moment when you're washing dishes or driving and a thought drops in, perfectly formed, even though you weren't thinking about the subject at all. Most of us are trained to dismiss those moments. We brush them aside as coincidence or imagination because they seem too subtle or too simple. But in Murphy's view, those flashes are the direct response to your prayer or visualization, the bridge between inner belief and outer action. The subconscious doesn't speak in long explanations. It speaks in direction. And here's the part I personally love and have lived. I've learned that when a thought comes out of nowhere and feels peaceful but clear, it's always worth listening to. Every single time I've ignored that nudge because logic said otherwise, I ended up realizing later it was right. I've seen this pattern repeat so many times that I've stopped calling it coincidence. It's intuition. It's the subconscious mind's way of showing you that the invisible part of life is participating in your choices. Murphy's practical advice here was simple. After prayer or affirmation, say quietly, "Infinite intelligence within me knows what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. I trust its guidance completely." Then release the subject. Don't force an answer. Just stay open. You might wake up with a new idea, notice a line in a book, or have someone mention exactly what you needed to hear. That's how the subconscious guides you, through alignment and perfect timing, not effort. If you want to experience this for yourself, try setting aside 5 quiet minutes each morning. Breathe, calm your mind, and ask, What step feels peaceful today? The first thought that arrives, not the 10th one you overanalyze, is usually the one to follow. Act on those gentle impulses, even when they don't make logical sense. Logic operates within what's already known. Intuition reveals what's next. The more you act on those inner signals, the stronger they become. You start to live in rhythm with your subconscious guidance. You notice coincidences that feel too perfect to be random. Decisions unfold more smoothly. You stop forcing outcomes and start cooperating with them. Murphy's message here is one of partnership. Your subconscious is not a servant to be commanded. It's a wise ally to be trusted. When you plant your intention and then listen, life becomes less about control and more about collaboration with a deeper intelligence that sees farther than you can. Joseph Murphy invited us to live as creators, not just to practice techniques. The value of these ideas is in how they shape your daily rhythm, your mornings, your thoughts, your sleep. Begin each morning by setting your mental climate. Before you reach for your phone, take a quiet breath and say, "Today I am guided by infinite intelligence. Everything I need comes easily." Feel that tone. Let one short, peaceful image appear, a smooth conversation, a moment of clarity, a smile of gratitude. That's your subconscious instruction for the day. As the hours unfold, practice awareness. When fear or impatience arises, do not fight it. Observe it and gently replace it. Say, "I am learning to trust the process." Each correction reconditions the deeper self. This is how belief replaces fear without struggle. Throughout the day, mind your words. Murphy taught that spoken words carry creative vibration. Speech is thought amplified. If you hear yourself saying, "I'm so tired of this," shift to, "I'm learning to find balance." If you say, "Money is always tight," soften it to, "Abundance is opening in new ways." You are teaching the subconscious which story to echo. Forgiveness, too, must become a living practice. Each afternoon, pause for 10 seconds to clear emotional residue. Whisper, "I release and bless everyone and everything. I am free." Feel the peace in that. Forgiveness is not for others. It is the door through which your own energy returns to flow. When night arrives, you enter your most powerful creative state, the borderland before sleep. Choose one desire and one sentence that captures it in present tense. For example, "Peace fills my home," or "Health renews me now." Then create a menta movie that confirms it. Keep it short and ordinary, a conversation, a smile, a letter received. See it once or twice until gratitude rises, then let it fade as you fall asleep. The subconscious will take that seed and work through the night. In the morning, resist the urge to test the results. You don't dig up a seed to see if it's growing. You live the day as if the roots are already spreading. Opportunities, ideas, and synchronicities will begin to appear in ways that feel natural. Some days, you'll forget. That's fine. The practice is remembering again. You're not controlling the subconscious, you're cooperating with it. Each time you return to faith, harmony, and gratitude, you strengthen the signal between your conscious intention and the infinite intelligence that fulfills it. After a few weeks of living this way, you'll feel lighter, more guided, more sure. You'll notice that challenges dissolve faster and solutions seem to meet you halfway. That's because your subconscious has accepted a new pattern, one that matches peace instead of fear, certainty instead of struggle. That is what it means to live as a conscious creator, not to force life, but to move in rhythm with it. To think, speak, and feel in ways that affirm your unity with the creative power already within you. Fall asleep in acceptance, wake in gratitude. Walk through the day as if the answer and you already know each other. That is how you live these teachings, not as an occasional practice, but as a way of being. Thank you for joining me on The Conscious Creator. If today's exploration inspired you, I encourage you to read Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind for yourself. You'll find a link in the description. Every chapter is a reminder that the creative force of the universe lives right inside you, waiting to be directed with faith and imagination. If this message resonated, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's ready to remember their own creative power. And always remember this truth from Joseph Murphy. Your subconscious mind is your faithful servant. Train it with love, and it will open every door.